Hey, I'm Cody Beals, and we're here in Fergus, Ontario, where I spend most of the year training. We're at the Centre Wellington Community Sportsplex, where I'm going to be doing a treadmill session. So it's going to be a pretty tough training day. I had a 5+ kilometer swim this morning and a run home from the pool, and so this is run number 2. After that, we're going to do some conditioning work and a recovery ride to cap off the day. I've been pretty tired this week. In fact, my coach actually sent me an email this morning saying, take it easy today, but I explained, no, I've got Triathlon Magazine Canada following me around today, so I absolutely can't take it easy. So we'll see how this goes. The treadmill session is going to be a 30-minute warm-up and then 4 8-minute intervals around threshold pace, so about 3:15 per kilometer. So up until 2 years ago, I was self-coaching and just making all sorts of mistakes and chronically overtraining among a host of other issues. So I started working with David Tilbury Davis, who's currently based in the Woodlands, Texas. And he's helped me get my act together just tremendously over the past couple of years. So the way it works, I'm here in Fergus, Ontario training for most of the year, and he's down in the Woodlands, Texas for most of the year. And we touch base pretty much daily by email and at least weekly on Skype. So he's always checking in, keeping an eye on me, and of course I'm uploading my training every day with the data and the comments, so he keeps an eye on things there. And it's a really good arrangement. And so last year I spent 3 months of the year down in Texas, training under his watchful eye, so he does get to see me face to face sometimes as well. So I apologize to whoever has to use the treadmill after me. It was a pretty sweaty one. I made a bit of a lake there. But it was a better workout than I expected. It was pretty solid. It's like 32 minutes of work at 32-minute 10K pace. So this next session we're going to do is one of my most dreaded sessions actually, but also one of the shortest. It's 2 rounds of 8 different plyometrics exercises, 30 seconds each, pretty close to all out. So it's just 8 minutes of work total, but it's a pretty brutal one, especially after a hard run. Pretty much me going for 30 seconds and then dying for 30 seconds. I definitely have a reputation for being analytical and science-based, and my choice of coach reflects that. My blog is often technical. My tagline for a long time is Nerd and Jocks Clothing, so I play that up. But I don't take myself too seriously. I'm happy to poke fun at myself and do things that are tongue-in-cheek. So I really think that's important because it's easy to get caught up in the drama of being a pro triathlete. It's an interesting case, I guess, in order to do well at racing, you have to have a big ego to some extent. You really have to believe in yourself. But I don't want that to be my day-to-day persona when I meet people. I want to be approachable and I want to be friendly and down to earth. Right now I'm 15 weeks into this really long 18-week training block building into my first high priority race of the season. And that's the 70.3 South American Championships in Palmas, Brazil in early April. So before then, next week I'm flying down to Mexico for 70.3 Monterey. And that race is just to kind of get things going again for the season. I don't like to call races a tune-up because I never show up at a 70.3 not expecting to bring pretty close to my A game, but the real priority is going to be the South American Championships a couple weeks later, and then a month after that in May, the 70.3 North American Championships in St. George, Utah. But if I look at my average over the course of the year, I'm averaging in the high teens, maybe 18 or so honest hours of training a week, swimming, biking, running, and conditioning. When I'm in a heavy build phase, I'm getting up to about 25 or so hours a week for the bigger weeks. My training definitely skews more towards the high intensity end of the spectrum. There are some athletes that are lower intensity and necessarily higher volume. I do a lot of indoor training like that treadmill session today or the CompuTrainer session I'm going to do later. A lot of really quality sessions. So there's not a lot of fluff in my training. So as a result, I can probably get by with less hours compared to some of my peers who are racing at my level. A typical week, the way it breaks down, Thursday is often my recovery day, so that's the end of the weekly cycle. I'm on a 7-day cycle, and Thursday is really important. That's the day I'll often just have an hour of training and a bit of yoga or something, recovery swim, recovery run, and some yoga. And I really try and just unplug from all things triathlon that day. I used to think, oh great, I have a day off, I'm going to be really productive today and get all kinds of sponsor-related stuff done and this and that. it's actually ideal, and you really need it in order to train at this level, to just take a day, get out with friends, do something social, just get away from triathlon, because otherwise it's a 24/7 thing the rest of the week and it can just overwhelm you. No matter how passionate you are about it, it's not healthy to be living and breathing something literally 24/7. It's already on, it's already on.
Okay.
No, I hate this song. I don't know how to turn this off.
Yeah, I just bought this car last week. It's my first car, and truth be told, it's my first half of a car because I'm currently co-owning it with my dad. But I'll buy him out eventually. That's the kind of financial realities the third-year pro triathlete faces. But it's pretty cool. I have to say it's my dream car. It's a Toyota Prius C. It's a very efficient car, and it makes sense for one of the most aerodynamic cyclists in the pro circuit to drive one of the most aerodynamic cars in the world.
Nice.
So I quite like it so far.
So this is the Garage of Pain, where my parents and their friends get together every Wednesday to do a Sufferfest video. Sometimes I ride with them, but most of the time I'm just doing my own thing. So we'll just take a quick peek in here. So there's often upwards of a dozen cyclists suffering in here throughout the entire winter. And then in the summer they actually ride together outside every Wednesday. And I'll work on my bikes in here when it's warm, but it's not heated. So we're back home now, and we're gonna head up to my loft apartment. Here we are. This is my loft.